and starting early on things where time is your biggest ally, like in finance. So, in finance, the sooner you get a grip on your finances, the better and sooner you understand your options, the sooner you will be to make and build wealth for yourself. So, in this video, I want to go over with you this budgeting technique and show you how you can implement it for yourself. I've learned a lot over my 10 plus years in corporate finance, working as an accountant and an analyst to a director of finance. I also have an MBA in finance and data science. And I want to share everything that I know, everything that I've learned on this channel to help people make better financial decisions and ultimately build wealth. This will probably be my very first video on YouTube. So if you can help me by subscribing, liking, and sharing this video to help me get to my first 100 subscribers, I would really appreciate the support. With that being said, let's go over to Excel. Now this example is a budget that I've made for a friend a few years ago, but this is a simple exercise that anyone can do for themselves. And if you don't have Excel, you can also do this on Google Sheets. So to share a little bit of background, this is a family of 4. The dad is 41, mom is 38, and they have a son and daughter, ages 11 and 9. They own 1 dog and 1 cat, and they live in the SF Bay Area. Now if you look at the upper left, you'll see that they have their total assets and debt section. Their current home value is $560,000, investments of almost $214,000, checking and savings account of almost $12,000. Their vehicles make up almost $33,000 and a little bit over $390,000 in debt. So if you tally that up, their total net worth is $424,319. And while net worth is important, having enough money to pay the bills at the end of each month is also very important. So in the next section, we'll go over their monthly cash flows. For most people, this will really just be your paycheck, which is your income, and then your regular bills and spending, which are your expenses. So starting at the top, this family's net income, which again is their take-home pay, is $9,236. This couple also owns a home, and if you tally up their regular housing expenses, is $2,154. Going down to their utilities, if you tally this up, this is $494. Vehicle insurance of $199, plus gas expense, which transportation for this family, $349. Credit card interest payments of $196. Groceries and eating out together, that's $1,678. Monthly pet expenses of $82. Phone and internet bill of $237. Subscription expenses of $176. And then a little bit over $1,500 in miscellaneous spend. So the total monthly cash flow is a positive $2,163, which annualizes to almost $26,000. Now in summary, this family is actually doing pretty decently in terms of their finances. But by looking more in depth at their finances, there are actually still some easy things that we can change over the course of a few months. So let's take a look at what we did to make a few adjustments and improvements to their finances. If you look over at column B here, these are the original amounts. Column D, these are the updated amounts. Anywhere where it's in a yellow highlight or has a green arrow, that means there's an amount that's been changed, and I'll walk you through each of these to show you what's been done. Now first thing is first, I normally recommend that if you have any credit card debt, that you pay this off as soon as you're able to, because credit card debt usually comes with high interest rates. And while I don't recommend that you empty out your savings in case of any emergencies, you should definitely aim to pay off that credit card debt as soon as you can. So what this family did is, they did a combination. They downgraded their vehicles, which gained them about $5,000 in cash. With the remainder to pay off that credit card debt, they pulled from their checking and savings account. So that's why you see, between checking and savings, vehicles and debt, there's been a decrease in all 3 of these items. But there's no difference in their net worth. However, if you go over to their monthly cash flow sections, in the credit card interest payments, by switching around their assets, they managed to reduce that monthly expense of $196 to $0 per month. Then if you start back at the top of their monthly cash flow section, going over their net income, they managed to increase their income by $1,000 each month. A little bit of story behind that is really just because, for me, I've been working in corporate finance for over 10 years, And I've developed a pretty good understanding what the market rate salaries are for a variety of positions. For my friend specifically, I noticed that he seemed to be underpaid and making less than average salary. So I suggested to him that unless he's able to get a promotion or a raise at his current position, that he might do better if he looks outside of his company. And that's what he did. In the course of over around 3 to 4 months, he found a better paying job. In their mortgage lines, this is really just a savings of about $250 from refinancing when the interest rates were low. For home insurance and vehicle insurance, this savings is simply from shopping around for cheaper quotes. I forgot to mention, but the new job was also a work from home position, so this was a reduction in gas expense. As I mentioned, the credit card interest payments went down to 0. And the last change here is for their subscriptions. This was simply just by looking at their subscriptions and making sure that anything that they weren't currently using that they made sure to cancel. In summary, if you look over at their total monthly cash flows, this family now is able to save $3,800 at the end of each month. Annualizing that, now they're able to save $45,000 at the end of each month. If you look at the comparisons of before and after, this is an additional savings of $1,600 per month, and annually is an additional savings of $19,000. And if you look back over what we've done, first we started off with an exercise of reallocating our resources, trading down your vehicles, which again is a choice for you, that's not something you need to do, but using some of your extra cash in your checking savings account to pay down your credit card debt so you can reduce those monthly interest expenses. Then increasing your net income, which again may or may not be possible for you, but if it is, then that's definitely something that's worth looking into just to make sure that you're not leaving money on the table. Refinancing the home when the time arises, whenever you have those opportunities, then you should definitely make sure to take advantage of them. Reducing home insurance and vehicle insurance was really just a once in a year exercise where you shop around for cheaper quotes. And then for subscriptions, again, a very quick exercise just to make sure that you're canceling anything that you're not currently using. Now, I don't want to make this video too long, but I did want to quickly go over another budget in case it's helpful to you. So going over to their budget, to set up the situation, this person is a single man, age 23, with 1 dog, and he also lives in the SF Bay Area. Going over his total assets and debt, you'll see that his net worth is almost $11,000. His net income is $4,222. He's currently renting, and his monthly rent is $2,010. His monthly utilities cost is $407. Vehicle insurance and transportation costs $358. $53 in credit card interest payments. Between groceries and eating out, $919. $101 for pet expenses. $187 for phone and internet, $15 for subscriptions, and then $377 for miscellaneous spend, which totals up to actually a $204 net loss every month, and that annualizes to almost a loss of $2,500 each year. So this one is a little bit of a different situation than the first example because this isn't sustainable at all. The longer this goes on, the poorer and poorer that this person will become. And when we first approached this budget exercise, he actually wasn't aware of that. Based off his memory, he thought that he was saving about $1,000 at the end of each month. And that's why we want to go over this budget exercise rather than just rely on our memories. So here are some changes that we made during our budget exercise. Because he's fresh out of college, he doesn't have as much money to move around as the previous family did. So what we did is we took $500 from his checking and savings to pay off $500 of credit card debt. And that decreased his credit card interest payments from $53 a month to $42 per month. I also noticed that his water bill seemed a little bit high, and what this implied is that there may have actually been a leak in the unit. So we brought that up to the landlord, they sent someone to inspect it, and then they found that there was a leak and they fixed it, reducing his monthly bill from $279 down to $154 per month. Again, for vehicle insurance, it was just a matter of shopping around for cheaper quotes. In transportation, what he did here is he decided to drive less, and actually walk and bike more. So that reduced his gas bill by $80. Again, the credit card interest payment reduced by $9 just by using some of his spare cash that's in his checking and savings account to pay down some of his credit card debt. That brings you over to a total monthly cash flow of a positive $247 now, which also annualizes to $3,000. So it's definitely not as impressive as the previous family, but for him it's a major step in the right direction because he's going from losing money each month to at least being able to save each month. So he can also reasonably go further by getting a roommate or several roommates, but just getting one roommate would save him about $1,000 per month on rent and probably some on utilities, or even by living at home if that's an option available to him. And that's about all I have for this video. And keeping track of your expenses, especially early on, really creates a solid foundation for you to keep growing and building your wealth. If you've liked this video, please subscribe, like, and share with your friends and family. I really appreciate the support and thank you for watching.